All right, where do we want to start? Small caps are going to be a thing for the next couple weeks. So it's the yeah, exactly. I was going to say it's the it's definitely the best workout outside of digging tanks in the winery. Whoa, that is murky stuff. So tasting through tanks, we brought in an enormous amount of fruit the last 2 days. Basically trying to get in anything that we think might be at risk for fire or smoke taint. And then, so we brought in like 70 tons over the last 2 days, but among that, it's like 26 separate fermentation lots because we're either breaking down into small fermenters. There's a few large fermenters that have come up, but like, you know, we're also running out of big tanks. So we are like breaking stuff down into multiple macro 48s, or, you know, all of these guys are filled right now. So it's, yeah, it's an exciting time in the cellar, but there's a lot of lots going on. So this is a classic example of we didn't have the right number of tanks. So we basically had to co-ferment from Taldeschi, the Petite Straw, and the Carignan into a 10-ton tank because we had run out of 6-ton tanks. So everybody talks about the art of winemaking when so much of it sometimes just comes down to the weather forcing your hand and making just like logistical issues. So you just try to have to create the best thing that you can with the circumstances that you've been, with what you've been given. So this is some fruit that got rejected by Constellation from John. So we took it in hopes that it's still okay. This smells totally fine to me right now, but it smells fine. My only concern though too with all of this is like at some point we've been surrounded by wildfires and smoke for so long that it's sort of like how smokers stop being able to smell themselves. I'm always concerned that maybe we just have lost all sensory capacity to actually like detect smoke with the fineness that we normally would, just because we've been so overwhelmed by it. So that's the little thing that's always sort of nagging in the back of my head. So then it's like if we do smell smoke on something, it's like, oh Jesus, is that like really, really messed up? So we just don't, these are the things that we're just gonna learn in time. So here's Sodini Ranch, which we picked yesterday morning. Picked out at 1.25 tons per acre, which, believe it or not, is actually pretty decent for Sodini. Very classic Russian River Valley bright acid. Tastes good. This is the better tank, so we take the flats and another thing we call the parking lot block, but is on slightly deeper soils, but it's the better one section, and then we combine the two lesser sections, which is a swale on the front of the ranch. Oh, that's probably the next one down, and the hill into a separate tank. This is bedrock blocks 27 and 30, so this is getting quite dry. This is picked back on August 23rd. Today's September 11th, so it smells very good. Not the weightiest of the bedrock lots, nor has it been all the way through, but it still has all the pretty Sonoma Valley perfume, which is nice. Might just be an old line lot, but it's going to be a really nice one. Here's that lesser Sodini lot. Still smells quite good. It's just got a little bit more like bit of raisin character. There's a little bit more variability in these blocks, so you get a little bit more of the exacerbated Zinfandel effect with that like overripe, underripe character. Tastes good though. And then we still have some 10-tonners to work with. Problem is this year crops have been so low that things that normally go into 10s are just going into 6s. Oh yeah. Oh right, Evangelo finally got pressed out yesterday, dry. Evangelo carrying on too. Here's Kirschenmann, which came in 4 days ago. It's just starting to ferment, so gonna get a nutrient add today. My guess is this is gonna ferment like gangbusters based on the way the other Lodi lots did. Tastes really good. It's like ripe apples right now. Onerosa Cabernet. Oh yeah, look, that's insanity. So this has been in tank for 3 days, and look at that color. That's absolutely bonkers. Woo, it smells like Cabernet too. Who's afraid of a little pyrazine? We're not. God, that's like thick. It smells really good. That has really, really good potential. It came in riper than we wanted, but it's, if any variety is going to handle it, it's going to be Cabernet. So this is Hoagland. So this is kind of a new vineyard for us this year. We've actually worked with it. We used to farm one part of this vineyard in the past. It's just up off of Garricky Road near Ravenswood. And it's a whack, really crazy field blend in that most field blends seem to have like some logic. This one does not. So this is like early Burgundy, a Boreau Aubun, which is a late ripening Rhone variety. Zinfandel, Carignan, Cabernet, Palomino, Syrah, Petit Syrah. But the problem is early Burgundy ripens very early and Aubun ripens very late. So one will be like 27, the other will be like 21, which makes the picking decision even harder than normal. And then we've got, you know, the weekend of 110 degree heat, and it came in. It's on the riper side, and it's I don't know, just doesn't smell like a lot right now. We'll see. Hopefully it opens up a little bit, but planted in the 1920s, it's kind of cool. I mean, it's still like a prohibition style vineyard. It still has all like the orchard fruit and everything interplanted with the trees and everything, or with the vines. It's pretty wild. But sweet and low acid. That will hopefully make Old Vine. We'll see. This is Nervo Block 9. So the large block of Old Vines at Nervo. We picked this back on August 28th. Oh man, it smells like Nervo. Dark tone, peppery, but like lifted. This is a block we were worried about smoke on, and we're now negative bricks. I haven't picked any up on it at any point during fermentation. If that is indeed clean, it's going to be one of the strongest lots in the winery this year. Old Hill Ranch. So this was picked 2 days ago. Numbers were like perfect coming in on it. That tastes so good. Classic Old Hill, really wonderful acidity, bright spice, it's already complex and it's only 2 days old. Yeah, picked on the days of apocalyptic skies. Hopefully hopefully it's good. Hudson Teas. So Tea West. Already given up color really well. Syrah is just such a hard read after Zinfandel. Zinfandel just shows you all it's got early, and Syrah so much is caught up in the skins that you don't really get a good read on the wine until really you're in mid-firm and the skins have started to break down and the color has started to come out. This kind of smells like slightly bacony a juice. Yep, tastes like Hudson. At this point, we've worked with Hudson since 2008, so almost as long as the winery's been going, so this just kind of tastes like early Hudson. Tea East. Yeah. I'll have a lot more to say about that wine in 3 or 4 days, but it's kind of hard to read. This is going to be brutal. Monterosso, Zinfandel on extended maceration. It's going into the furriest part of its life, so this is not going to be pleasant on the tongue. So fully dry, we're just trying to get some tannin resolution going. Come on, little guy. All right. Smells like classic Monterosso, but grown-up Zinfandel. It's actually not as bad as I expected. Tannins seem to be resolving a little bit already, which is very good. Bedrock Cabernet, picked yesterday. Interesting, much less green than Monterosso, but feel sort of some of the ripeness there. This is another Bedrock lot we're doing extended maceration on, like with the Monterosso. Aromatics aren't as resolved as the Monterosso yet. Still showing a little green. Definitely still firmer and fuzzier. And last up is Block 7A. So this is Young Vine Zin from Bedrock that we brought in yesterday. This block was at like high 22s, so it seemed like it was about a week out, maybe 9 days out, and then we had that week of heat, or that weekend, those 3 days of heat, and then it now has hit the tank at almost 27, which is just stupid, but needless to say, riper than we normally pick. Tastes good, but tastes ripe and tastes a little low acid for Bedrock. But we'll make wine from it. The irony is that that's late for us, but that's that's even lower than most people still pick most Zinfandel in California. So it's all relative, I suppose. Yeah, and we can go back and do small caps once all the samples are pulled. I didn't get any smoke on anything. We'll see how things go later in fermentation, but so far I don't see much.